Oh! Great Odin's Raven!
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll go.
Hello and welcome to the FilmPulse.net podcast, episode number 37. My name is Adam. Today I'm joined by Kevin. How are you, Kevin? This week we'll be reviewing Ben Affleck's Argo and Martin McDonagh's Seven Psychopaths. We'll also be highlighting some Amazon Blu Ray deals, we'll be making our weekly movie predictions, and finally we'll be going over this week's DVD and Blu Ray releases. First, let's get things started with some of what we've been watching. I'll kick it off this week. First, I watched Underground, the Julian Assange Story. This was a made-for-TV movie about the creator of WikiLeaks. And the interesting thing about this was that it actually played at some of the festivals. I think it was TIFF where it played. And it's better than your typical made-for-TV movie, but it still has those kind of TV movie tropes to it where everything seems to be overly dramatic, and they have like the dramatic building music, and it was okay. I didn't know anything about his life or anything, so that was interesting, and it kind of reminded me of Pirates of Silicon Valley, with the one with Noah Wiley and Anthony Michael Hall. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit, but it was okay. Anthony LaPaglia was in it, playing the detective that was trying to bring him down.
Oh. So does it go back and forth?
No, it's pretty much just, I think he was 19, and I think it just covers pretty much that 1 year.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of, I guess, maybe his first big, like when he really got into like hacking, and he got caught hacking into this, I think it was the CIA's website.
Oh.
Or not their website, their network.
That'll get you in some trouble.
Yeah, he was able to skirt around getting jail time for that, but he got like a hefty fine.
Whatever happened to WikiLeaks? Like, I don't hear anyone talk about that.
Well, I think it's still
Ever.
around, but I don't know how much you've heard, but what happened was they lost all their ways to make money, because they made money through donations.
Yeah.
And Visa, MasterCard, all the major credit card companies, and PayPal, and pretty much all the payment providers stopped using, like, accepting payments through them. So they couldn't they couldn't bring in donations. So
Sure.
They're still around, but I don't know what the status is. I think they're kind of in limbo right now.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous. In fact, I think on that We Are Legion, the Hacktivist documentary, they actually talk about WikiLeaks and the fact that all these credit card, because as a result, Anonymous went after the credit card providers and PayPal and brought all those sites down. And they brought up a good argument that they showed all these like white supremacist Nazi websites that accept donations, and those are all still running.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So the movie was interesting. It wasn't great. It certainly wasn't like a theater quality film. I'm really not sure why it played in theaters, but if you're interested in this guy, whether you like what he does or hate him or whatever, I really don't have an opinion on him, but it's still kind of an interesting watch. Another interesting watch, I saw Weiwei, Never Sorry.
I want to see this.
It's really good. I like this guy just because with most modern artists, there's this certain aura of pretentiousness about them.
Yes.
And I find that most, if not all, of his art is not only it doesn't feel pretentious to me, and the message is always laid out. Like, you always know what the message is behind his pieces. And not only do they look amazing, but they always have a good message behind them. And I really like this guy. I think he's a very fascinating person. He seems really down to earth too. Like, he's always on Twitter and doing this stuff. And if anything, this movie is a really good thing to show people that claim to hate social media and hate Twitter and stuff like that and think that it's just no substance there, because this puts up a good argument for using social media platforms.
Well, I think it's more because I hate Twitter, but I think Twitter and stuff like that is good, for like foreign countries and stuff, because those people use it for like all the right reasons. I think it's just mostly, Americans and some other countries, just stupid people that use fucking Twitter for nothing.
Yeah, but you have to take the good with the bad.
I know exactly.
It's any kind of platform like that, you're gonna have both sides, and it's just kind of something you deal with. And I mean, we use Twitter at Film Pulse, and I don't use it probably as much as I should, but I don't have a problem with it. I'm not a diehard Twitter guy. I know Daniel, our contributor Daniel's always on Twitter, but getting back to the movie, it's great. If you don't know anything about this guy, he's a very infamous, I guess you could say infamous Chinese artist. He did the Beijing Olympics, the crazy sculpture type things at the Beijing Olympics.
Yeah,
and that's
I remember for a while there that when I would listen to NPR on my way to work, it was nothing but Ai Weiwei for like 2 solid weeks. That's all you would hear.
Yeah, because he's always stirring up controversy. He's always getting in trouble. He in the documentary, he gets arrested, and they can't film anymore after it because he gets thrown in jail for no reason, just for doing what he does. And it's really interesting. I like these artists that are kind of like activists as well, and I would highly recommend checking that one out.
Definitely.
I also saw To Rome with Love, the newest Woody Allen movie. Finally got to see that, and it was a disappointment. A severe disappointment. I mean, it has a great cast. You'd think that... I was intrigued by the trailers. I thought the trailers made it look good. I like the idea of Jesse Eisenberg kind of playing the Woody Allen type character.
He's the perfect Woody Allen character.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he, along with pretty much every other actor in this movie, are severely underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of storylines that are happening all at once, and they don't really converge like how you would imagine this type of story. Any of these types of movies that have several love stories that are happening at once. You think at some point the storylines kind of merge, but they don't. And it was just kind of all over the place. I couldn't get down with it. Some of it was kind of fun, but for the most part, I found it to be slightly boring.
I was intrigued by the Roberto Benigni storyline. I didn't get to see this, but I love the idea of that.
His was interesting. I did like his, but they just don't go anywhere with it. And that's the problem with all of them. They just don't really go anywhere with it.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, that one I can't recommend. And then finally, I saw Alps.
Alps.
Yes.
Yes.
Alps, the new Greek film from the same writer-director that did Dogtooth. What was his name? Georgios Lanthimos.
Yeah.
I liked this. I liked it quite a bit. It wasn't as good as Dogtooth, but I think that's kind of an unfair comparison. I really try not to compare movies of the same writer-director, like their previous films.
Yeah.
But I feel like...
it's a completely different movie.
And I did read several reviews on Alps, and everybody compares it to Dogtooth. And I think that that's really unfair, but after you see the movie, you'll realize that it's impossible not to compare it to Dogtooth, because it's at least one of the same actors, very, very similar style and tone, where it's that kind of odd, really weird kind of story that's happening. And just randomly odd things happen in the movie. And I liked the premise. I mean, the premise is it's this group of people that their job is to pretend to be dead people for the families of recently deceased. That in and of itself is intriguing. And I liked the movie. I really liked it, but it just wasn't Dogtooth. There's just something not there. Mm-hmm. I guess the message was sort of not very clear, like what they were trying to tell you in this movie.
Yeah.
But overall, I still enjoyed it, and if you're a fan of movies like Dogtooth or Attenberg, I highly recommend checking out Alps.
I mean, there's definitely one thing to be said about him, and his ideas are original.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And his the camera work, the cinematography is pretty much on point with Attenberg and Dogtooth. Looks very similar. The biggest difference between Alps and Dogtooth is that in Dogtooth it's pretty much all in that one house or in the backyard, Yeah. It's all kind of one setting. With Alps there are more settings, and it is a more open movie, and it's a more open-ended movie as well.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or not. The performances were great, but again, I just felt like there was something missing from it. I didn't walk away with my jaw on the floor like when I saw Dogtooth.
Gotcha.
Yep. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
That's it.
All right. I guess it's my turn. We've talked about this. It is October, so this is when I want to watch a ton of horror movies.
I'm so excited for you, too.
Yeah. I'm not a big horror movie guy, which, it's pretty obvious that you are. Mm-hmm. So this is your month. This is where you try and win me over. And, well, the first one that I started with was Insidious. Now, I remember hearing good things about this movie when it first came out. So me and my wife are like, yeah, we'll try this one. This one's supposed to be really good. And this is directed by the guy that did Saw, right? James Wan?
James Wan, yeah.
Yeah. I was with this for almost the first half of the movie. It was really creepy, had really good atmosphere to it, good feel. And then it just, when they moved to the next house, and they had the paranormal people come in and run all their tests and everything, it just took a weird turn. And I actually, on 4 or 5 occasions, I actually burst out laughing. I tried to hold it back, and then it just came out. The scene where she's wearing the gas mask thing, mm-hmm. I just lost it. For almost that entire scene, I was just laughing. So based on that, Ryan's Law, this movie was hilarious, which I don't think that's what they were going for. Unfortunately.
No. Well, there was some intended humor in the movie, but not that part. Well, I don't know. I don't think the gas mask part was supposed to be funny, but those two people that were her assistants, they were supposed to be goofy.
Yeah, and they were pretty funny. The way they would bicker back and forth.
The one guy is I believe the writer or co-director of the first Saw movie, and he was also in the first Saw movie.
Oh yeah. He's the writer of Insidious as well, Lee Wannell. But oh my goodness, and when they go into like the spirit land or whatever the hell it is,
The Nether.
Yeah, that was just awful. That just looked so terrible. And the way it ended too, just everything about it. Completely.
Well, there's a
hated
sequel, so maybe the sequel will win you over.
There's a sequel?
It's not out yet.
Oh, Jesus. I don't want to see it.
Well, I'm sorry that you didn't like that. I actually liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I gave it like a half a star.
You did. I saw it in my... I just felt a pain in my stomach.
Don't you hate that now when you get on Letterboxd and you see a movie you enjoy and you see that someone in your network gave it like 1 star?
Yeah, it's like...
Just right away you're like, oh...
I don't get... Because I know that some people get angry. You know, because we get... Every now and then when we write a bad review on the site, we'll get people commenting like, you're a fucking idiot, you'll know what you're talking... But I have the complete opposite effect. Like, if there's a movie that I love, and... I mean, I didn't love Insidious, let me put that out there. I liked it a lot, but if there's a movie that I really like, and I see one of my friends or whoever giving it a bad review, I feel sad. Like, I'm just like, oh... Because I know that for whatever reason, they just didn't get the same message or whatever out of it that I did.
Yeah, it's a little rough because it is. I'm the same way. It's just like, oh,
yeah,
darn it. Yeah. There's almost like you want vindication.
Yeah,
like I do have good taste. You should like it too.
Oh well.
But another movie I watched was Mulholland Drive because my wife has never seen this David Lynch classic, which I can't believe is number, what was it again? Like number 29?
Yeah, it was like 28 or 29.
Yeah. Wow. That surprises me.
Well, yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was blown away. We saw this in the theater.
Yeah, did we see this at the Charles?
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was one of the first movies we saw at the Charles, but definitely saw it there. I'm still a big fan of Mulholland Drive. I saw this a couple years ago.
Yes,
and
big fan. I definitely appreciate it a little bit more this time around. I felt I understood it more more than the first time around. But again, I really don't see how it's. I wouldn't call it one of the greatest movies of all time. I do like what David Lynch did with this movie. You know, completely flipping it like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Where you think it's going one way, and then all of a sudden, like, all the characters change, and you're like, what the fuck? What the hell is going on?
It is a mind fuck.
Yeah, that's what David Lynch does. His movies are always, like, completely straightforward for the most part. You know, some weird things here and there. And then, you know, about, like, the 50% mark or 60%, he just completely flips it, and you're like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, if you've seen his other movies and then you're seeing one of his newer ones for the first time or whatever, you know it's coming. You're like, okay, when's this going to happen? Because he does it in this movie, he does it in Lost Highway, he does it in Blue Velvet, where those are all pretty straightforward mysteries. And then at some point, and he even does it with Twin Peaks too. Mm-hmm. I mean, but the interesting thing about Twin Peaks is he does it for almost 2 seasons, and then at the very end of the second season, that's when things go crazy.
Yeah, he's just a bizarre man.
Have you seen the new season of Louis?
No,
because he's a character on Louis. He's in like 3 or 4.
Yes.
He's in like 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh, I love that.
It's amazing.
I love the idea of that. He was actually nominated for an Oscar for this film. As Best Director.
Yeah, I remember because I really wanted... Because the movie itself wasn't nominated for Best Picture, but he was nominated, and I really wanted him to win, but I knew he wouldn't.
Yeah, which I never understood that. I mean, to me, the Best Picture, Best Director, is just an excuse for them to give 2 awards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you have the Best Picture, how are you not the Best Director?
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you get nominated for Best Director, how do you not get nominated for Best Picture?
Yeah, usually they go hand in hand.
Yeah, that bothers me. I hate you, Academy Awards. I hate your stupid face.
Yeah, and I do want to. I am going to mention the Academy Awards in our Seven Psychopaths review as well.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about how much they hate them. How stupid they are. Jerks.
What else you got?
And then I watched the Mothman Prophecies. The Mothman Prophecies.
Richard Gere?
I'm sort of intrigued by the Mothman. I don't know why, but...
Is this the first time you've seen this?
This is the first time. I've never seen this movie from 2002. Mark Pellington directed with Richard Gere, Laura Linney. This was... My God. Was this a disappointment? What the hell was going on here? They showed the Mothman like once, and it looks awful when they show him. It just looks ridiculous.
See, it's been so many years since I've seen this. I probably saw it in 2002, and that was it. Like, I don't even remember. I remember, was it the scene when she saw him in the car?
Yeah,
like the beginning?
and it flies through the car or whatever.
I remember that, yeah.
It's just ridiculous looking.
I remember the phone call with the chapstick.
Yeah, I thought that those parts to me were creepy. You know, with the voice and the like the radio interference and the electrical interference and everything, and him predicting stuff. It had a nice creepy feel in those areas, but I don't know. It was sort of all over the place.
And this is based on a true story too, and I think that they really wanted to Hollywood up the real story.
Yeah, I mean they embellished the shit out of the real story.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but it is creepy.
Yeah, it's extremely creepy. The only good thing I thought, or the best part of it, was Will Patton's was in this film, and his performance is like the guy that lives in West Virginia, and he's sort of the Mothman or Indrid Cold ends up speaking to him and making all these prophecies and stuff, and they all come true, and he just sort of of course loses his mind. Mm-hmm. I think he did a really good job, but everyone else was just, and the film itself was just all over the place and just not good. Just overall not good. And then I watched Strada, which is on my list of movies that I have to watch before next year. Directed by Fellini. It's from 1954. This was sad, so depressing. So unbelievably depressing. It's about this carefree girl she essentially plays like Charlie Chaplin. Did I say Chapman?
Yes. I was going to wait to see if you picked up on it.
Charlie Chaplin. She essentially plays like the tramp character. And she's bought from her family. She's bought. The guy pays, I think it's like 10,000 lira, and so she goes traveling with him, and here he's like a strong man. He's a traveling performer. The only thing he does is he puts like a little tiny chain around his chest and then breathes in deeply and breaks the chain. That's his trick. And of course her job is to like cook and clean up after him and play the drums and shit. And it's so depressing. Because he is a terrible, terrible, terrible person. Just unbelievably awful to her. And something happens later on in the film that like completely destroys her, where she just cries all the time. And so he just leaves her. Just like they're outside and she falls asleep on the ground and he just drives away.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be like a story of like redemption at the end, because he finds out something, which will ruin the movie if I tell you, and then he sort of like realizes that, he screwed up and he feels terrible, and you're supposed to feel for him. And I didn't feel for him because I just thought he was a piece of shit. And I was happy that he was sad at the end. And I hope that after the camera panned away, he died where he was. because you awful person. And then I watched, there was like, it's on Criterion, so there's a Martin Scorsese introduction to the film. So I watched that afterwards, and Scorsese's going through this whole thing about, oh, you feel for him even though he's this terrible person throughout the entire film, and that's the power of the film, is that you even care about this man. And I was like, no, I didn't care for him. Sorry, Scorsese, but I think you're wrong. He's an awful person. And he was drunk at the end where he has this like epiphany. But I'm like, the guy's drunk. I want to see how he feels when he wakes up in the morning. Does he care? Probably not, because he never cared. And I hate the man. But it was bizarre that the two main actors were American. And this being an Italian film, being Anthony Quinn and Richard Basehart. But it was a good movie. I mean, I'll give you that. Depressing. If you want to be depressed, watch it. And then I watched a French film. I watched a lot of films this week.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because the Orioles are out of the playoffs. So I'm back to it. The next film I watched was The Good Time Girls from 1960. It's a Claude Chabrol movie. He's one of the lesser-known French New Wave directors. The biggest ones being, of course, like Godard and stuff. So I watched this film, and it's pretty much just about 4 women living in Paris. And, their lives are pretty shitty because they're women. And then, women have a rough time. So I'm watching this movie, and this is one of those first movies that have seriously surprised the shit out of me. It is, for the most part, just like a slice of life, day in the life, following these women. There's this motorcycle guy who's like, following this one girl, and, they end up meeting, they go out to dinner, and they're like falling in love and everything. And then something just happens, just out of nowhere, that surprises the shit out of you and just completely changes the entire tone of the film. And then it ends with a woman dancing, just staring into the viewer's eyes. And it's just creepy. I've never had a film do that, where it just completely flipped on me and took it in a just surprising, completely dark turn. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It was like the last 4 minutes of the movie were just, I couldn't believe what the hell happened. Completely changed the whole thing on me. The whole thing got changed.
I might have to watch this.
Yeah.
Give my thoughts on it.
It still doesn't make up for the first half of the film, or I shouldn't say the first half, like the first 95% of it. But it redeemed it a little bit, enough to me. I gave it, like a 3.5, 3.5. It's pretty good, but I'm definitely interested more in Claude Chabrol, so I'm definitely going to be watching more of his films. And I think he actually just recently passed away as well. I think last year. That's how I read about him. Or 2010, he passed away. I remember they had this big thing in Film Comment magazine.
Yeah, I don't really keep up on the whole French New Wave stuff, so.
I don't understand how you can. It's your favorite. You love the French New Wave.
I don't hate it. I don't really. There's not too many styles of film that I can just say I hate.
Musicals.
Yeah.
Fucking musicals. Sons of bitches. That's it. Those are the films I watched. Besides the 2 that we're going to talk about later.
Didn't you watch House of the Devil?
Oh shit, that's right. I did watch House of the Devil.
Yeah, see?
Damn.
It's good to have your list up on my screen.
Yeah. I didn't even see that on my list. I even checked it. And I missed that.
This is one that I recommended to you. That's why I was interested in getting your opinion on it, because I loved this movie, and this is Ty West's. Is it his first film? No, he did. No, I think it is his first film, because he did Cabin in the Wood or Cabin Fever 2 after this, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it is his first. Well, he has The Roost and Trigger Man.
Are those short films?
No, apparently they're full lengths.
Might have to look into those. But anyway, what did you think of House of the Devil?
I loved House of the Devil. This is my type of thing. I like these. I love the look and just the overall feel of the movie. I think he did an amazing job making it like I thought it was an 80s movie.
Yeah, like the title cards and everything. And
Oh, I love how the title came up.
when this movie came out, they released it on VHS too.
Nice.
That was one of the cool things about this movie.
Nice. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. And I love horror movies where, the majority of the film is the build up, is the setup, just building that tension and then just giving you everything in like the last 10 minutes. Just like an all out blitz grand finale. I like the old style of that. I don't like these new slasher torture porn where there's just shit like throughout the entire movie. It's just
Right.
one thing after another and they just keep throwing it at you because no one has attention spans anymore. This is what I like. And I loved it. The only knock that I have is I didn't like the very final scene.
Yeah, I
You
think
know how the
that-
movie ended.
Yeah,
But oh man, I loved it. The only thing is it was somewhat predictable because as soon as she gets there, I'm like, I pretty much figured out the entire thing. Even though, it's called House of the Devil, so you know something's up. It's not like I'm a genius or anything.
well, the plot is sort of a traditional horror movie plot, and I think that's what he was doing. He was just trying to reinvent the classic '80s slasher film in a way.
And I love how he shows the family, but the main character doesn't ever find that out.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And Tom Newman he was creepy as shit. I love Tom Noonan.
Yes,
great.
I do too. He's great on Hell on Wheels.
Hell on Wheels. He was really good in Synecdoche.
All right, let's talk about some Amazon Blu Ray deals.
Let's do it.
To get these incredible deals, just head on over to our site at filmpulse.net and either click on the Amazon banner, shop as you would normally, or click on the provided links in the show notes. First up, this is for you. We have Hocus Pocus for $14.49.
What?
Classic Halloween movie right there. Hocus Pocus.
One of my favorites. All-time favorites.
I guarantee you I've seen that movie probably 15 times.
Wow.
I feel like it was always on TV when we were younger,
Yeah.
around Halloween. Like
Yeah.
on ABC Family or whatever.
I didn't know that the director of that went on to do the High School Musicals.
Mm-hmm.
And he's apparently there's going to be another Dirty Dancing, because why the hell not?
Yeah.
Great.
Why not? Then we have Battle Royale, the complete collection, $16.84 on this.
1684 for all of them?
4 Blu-rays for $16.84. So
Wow.
if you're a fan of Battle Royale, now is the time to pick that up because it's on sale by a lot.
Yeah, and they're remaking that too. So
Yeah, well,
American version, awesome.
I'm not going to entertain that. And then finally we have Blue Velvet. Speaking of Lynch, this is $8.99 on Blu-ray.
Nice. $8.99.
I think a lot of people argue that Blue Velvet should have been there instead of Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
I think I like them equally, but I mean, as far as creeping me out, Blue Velvet easily takes the cake.
Oh, and everything that Hopper does at the end.
It's just nightmarish.
Ugh. Dennis Hopper's character is one of the creepiest. And Lynch is really good at that too, because him and Robert Blake's character in Lost Highway
Oh God!
are two of the creepiest people ever.
It's a bullet from a fucking gun, fucker.
We'll have to buy that for Shumper.
Yeah,
Send it to
exactly. Exactly. So there you have it. Those are two good deals and one Halloween family classic. Let's go ahead and get right into our reviews. Do you want to start with 7 Psychopaths first?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about 7 Psychopaths first. This is written and directed by Martin McDonagh, who is probably most known for In Bruges, which also starred Colin Farrell. Seven Psychopaths stars Colin Farrell, Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell, Christopher Walken, Abby Cornish. Who am I missing? Tom Waits.
We got Tom Waits in there. Kevin Corrigan in there.
Yeah, Michael Pitt and Michael Stuhlbarg at the beginning.
But thing to note is, what a weekend for Ivanek. They played Apollo.
Yeah.
But he's in both.
Yeah,
Argo and Seven Psychopaths.
Yep, he's in both. I love that guy. He's great in everything he's in.
Yeah, and I had no idea he's Slovenian.
No, I didn't either. I mean, I knew he had an interesting name, but let's go ahead and read the synopsis here. A struggling screenwriter inadvertently becomes entangled in the Los Angeles crime underworld after his oddball friends kidnap a gangster's beloved Shih Tzu. Okay, first of all, I think we both loved this movie, right? And this was a surprise to me because, again, this is the second week in a row I'm having to put my foot in my mouth regarding my thoughts on a movie. Last week I didn't think Frankenweenie was going to be good, and this week I didn't think Seven Psychopaths was going to be good. And I had a feeling that it was going to be okay just because of the cast, but I feel like the marketing made this out to be something that it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I loved this movie. I thought it was just incredible. It was absolutely laugh out loud, hysterical. The performances were amazing. The dynamic between Christopher Walken and Colin Farrell and Sam Rockwell was out of control. Like, I want to see more movies with these three characters.
Yes, and especially Rockwell's character. I just want to see him in movies, pretty much every comedy. I just want him to have to be there. Yeah. Just being the person that just complete goof off.
Yeah, I mean, this is I remember last week I said that it looked like it was one of those 90s Pulp Fiction clones. And it does feel like that to me, but it's done very well, so it's not a bad thing in this case. It is kind of chaotic and frantic, and there's many different things that are happening all at once, but it all works. It works really good.
Yeah, works really well together.
And maybe one of the best performances I've seen Walken in quite a long time, even though at this point in his career, he's just playing himself.
Yes, that's what I love. And sometimes it almost seems like he's not playing himself. He's doing an imitation of himself.
Yeah. Yeah, he's basically just a caricature of himself, which I was finding to be somewhat tiresome, but in this, he just has such a personality in this movie that it just worked. And he was awesome.
Yes, and I love the scene, from the trailer where he won't put his hands up.
Yeah. Yeah. That pretty much sums up that character. He's a badass. He's awesome.
And how angry he gets at the thought of getting cops involved.
And he wears a cravat, so
yes. And once you find out why he wears the cravat, Lord have mercy. Yeah. He is a badass.
Yeah, this movie is uber violent too, which kind of it kind of surprised me because the violence is so over the top, and that kind of mixed in with the comedy is something that I really enjoy.
Yes, and half the time the violence comes in the midst of the comedy,
right?
And just sort of just catches you off guard. You're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, there are a lot of surprises. There were several scenes where you're just like, "I can't believe I just saw that happen." Like, did that person's head just get sawed off? I mean, just over the top, gruesome, bloody violence. Yes. In the midst of this kind of goofy madcap adventure that's happening.
It's definitely madcap.
Yeah, I mean, things happen for really no reason, and but at the same time, it just kind of plays into the whole meta structure of this film, and it, I think it is to say, dare I say the word meta, but
Oh no.
this is a meta film. When you think about it, it's a movie called Seven Psychopaths about a guy writing a screenplay called Seven Psychopaths that it just happens to play out, you know, what we're seeing. I mean, this is a meta film.
Yeah, I mean, it's even open-ended at the end. Was it all in his head?
Right.
It's just him writing a script and sort of thinking this stuff out. Who knows?
And that's one thing that I really love, those kinds of films, like Adaptation, Cabin in the Woods, I don't know, 8.5.
Yeah, it's great. And just essentially, you know, he has nothing written. He has a title, Seven Psychopaths, but he can't even come up with 7 psychopaths.
The list is, yeah.
And I mean, he's just pulling things from here and there, mostly because he has a drinking problem and can't remember that a lot of these are stories that he's heard elsewhere. And just the fact that he gets 2, one of them's based off of a person that's actually in real life killing people, the Jack of Diamonds killer. And then the second one is just the Quaker psychopath, which is just ridiculous.
Who is played by Harry Dean Stanton, by the way, who I'm a big fan of.
Yes, Harry Dean Stanton is awesome, and he does a great job as the Quaker psychopath.
And I don't even think he has any lines. He just
he just
he's a
follows
badass.
him.
He's just a badass. And that's the other thing that happens in this movie. There's a lot of cutaways and a lot of random, almost dreamlike or fantasy scenes that happen where there's all these side stories that are playing out.
Yeah.
And I think that it really, for the most part, I think it really works. One of the big, not big, but one quibble I have is just the fact that, you know, they, in the trailer and in all the marketing material, they number out these people and they don't even match what it actually is in the movie.
Yeah.
And there's certain people, certain of the psychopaths I can understand because that would be giving away details, like spoilers, but to name like the girlfriends as each a psychopath, I think that for me, when I was seeing the trailers, I was like, I don't want to deal with that.
And I was sort of caught off guard. They use the C word a lot in this movie.
Oh yeah.
They enjoy the C word.
And that all plays into the conversation between Christopher Walken and Colin Farrell about how he portrays women in his scripts and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, like, because the women in this movie have almost no role. Like, their role is all like for instance, Abby Cornish plays Colin Farrell's girlfriend. First of all, she's barely in it at all.
Yeah.
And really her only purpose is to drive him into a deeper alcoholic depression than he was already in before.
Yes. And just have to be there so Sam Rockwell can call her names.
Right.
And talk about how much he hates her.
Yeah. And I love how she made an appearance in the fake finale or the fantasy finale. I'm trying not to spoil it, but
Yeah. But no, there is just a couple of things before we go into that. I just wanted to say that to me it was the funniest film I saw this year. I mean, I was laughing the entire time. It was one of the best times I've had at a film in a long time. Like, I just didn't want it to end. I just wanted this movie to go on forever.
yes.
And the scene that you're talking about, you know, Sam Rockwell ends up, you know, Colin Farrell asks him, you know, will you help me write this movie? And then Christopher Walken sort of gets thrown in, which that scene is funny in and of itself, of how they discuss that and how Rockwell gets so upset that he asks Walken to be a part of it as well. But there's a scene, you know, they're out in the desert and Sam Rockwell's going through his script for the final shootout, the crazy ending. And then, you know, like we said, there's cutaways to like the film itself, which is just so ridiculous. what he wants it to be, and I was just laughing the entire time through that entire scene.
I love how Walken popped up out of the casket with the dualies and just started blasting everybody, and the Vietnamese man, the Viet Cong. That was only one maybe minor thing that I didn't necessarily think that storyline of the Vietnamese guy had to be in it.
Yeah,
I think
that was my major quibble as well.
I think
didn't
it was
like that whole every single time that it went in that direction. I was just like, get back to the movie.
Yeah, because that one really had no connection to anything else. It was just kind of there. And I felt like it was a strong enough plot on its own without having that added in, especially with the whole Tom Waits storyline. I mean,
yeah.
Once you get into it, I mean, there's so many things happening, which is one thing that I really liked about the movie is the fact that each character, even the minor characters, had their own backstory, and you knew these characters. Even the Tom Waits guy, who he's barely in it at all, but he just kind of pops up and there he is, and we get to know him.
Yeah, and I did enjoy his scene at the very end after the credits.
It was awesome. Yes. That was
but yeah, the only thing that I saw with the Buddhist or the Vietnamese character, I think, was just their way of trying to explain what one of the other characters does in the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And like him trying to help, but I was worried when they were doing that, and Christopher Walken sort of explaining how to tie that up, and I was like, oh, I hope they don't go for sap. But right after he's finished that, they make that very clear that they were not going for sap.
No, this is not a sappy, sentimental movie. This is balls to the wall. This is a dark comedy, and when they say that they're psychopaths, they're not kidding. These are they do some pretty horrible things in this movie.
Yes.
And which is one thing that I thought was great, because there were no reservations. I mean, they went places that I did not think that they would go in this movie.
Yeah.
There's some very shocking death scenes. There is some extremely gruesome kills. I mean, like, horror movie quality kills here, people. But I loved it. I was just so surprised at everything, and it was great. And I want to get back to what I was saying earlier about the Oscars. This is a movie that should at least see Sam Rockwell nominated for an Oscar, but I can guarantee you 100% that they're not even going to look at this.
No, they're not. And I'm a huge fan of Sam Rockwell. I just think he's amazing, and he's absolutely hilarious in this movie. I mean, I've always thought of him as somewhat funny. I've seen him in some comedies, but good Lord. Like I said, he's absolutely hilarious. He drives like almost the entire film.
Mm-hmm.
If I think about it, if Sam Rockwell wasn't in it, I don't think it would have been as good.
No, I don't either. He's the backbone of the film.
Yeah.
If you think about
it, just the way him and Walken, like their chemistry and how they react to each other, it's just I could have watched that for like 3 hours. Just those two.
I think in the end, Sam Rockwell's the glue that holds this whole crazy story together, because he's the link with all the characters. He's like the major link. Like, even though they kind of bill it as Colin Farrell being the main character, and yes, it's about him writing this screenplay, none of this would happen without Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I mean, Colin Farrell's essentially just there to react to all the craziness around him.
Right, because...
It's essentially the straight man.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
Everyone's crazy around him, and it's just how he's trying to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, he is not one of the psychopaths, which I think should be noted.
But this is a film that, when it was over and I was driving home, I like when I got home, I wanted to see it again. Like if I had
Yeah.
a DVD or if it was on like Amazon or something, I would have sat down and watched it again, like right
Hmm.
away.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Loved it.
Good times. Highly recommend that one. And
And
what did you talk to? Who reviewed it again? Was it Daniel?
Daniel. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, he gave it what, a 9.5?
Yeah, yeah. We have the review up on our site. Daniel wrote the review. Good review. He gave it a 9.5. We actually went to the same screening, and he was loving it. So
Did you know that he was there?
yeah, I knew he was there.
Did you sit with him?
No, he was there with a group of people.
Gotcha.
All right, so what are you giving Seven Psychopaths out of 10?
Ooh, I'd probably give it 8.5.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Gonna go 8.
If it was possible, I'd say 0.25.
We should do that. We should have a ridiculous rating system from now on.
Well, I
Where
remember
we can rate movies like 7.432.
I don't remember who it was, but when we got one of the contributors, I don't know if it was Todd or Chad or whoever it was, the first review they sent me, it was like a 7.25, and I was like, we're not doing those. I think out of 10, I think it's almost too much out of 10, like, because I think about it, if we rated it on like Ebert's scale of 4 stars, there wouldn't be as much pressure because you could give out 4 out of 4s more easily than you could 10 out of 10s, I think.
Yeah, and that's why I like the 10.
Right, because it's a more precise.
I have a very structured system to what my numbers mean. You know, there's movies that are meh, but they were enjoyable enough. Like I didn't hate watching the film. And those are usually, like 6s.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
So that's an 8.5 and an 8 from me, and a 9.5 on the site for Seven Psychopaths. So check that out. Please go to the theater and see it. You will not be disappointed. It's great. Probably one of the best movies of the year.
yes, easily. Definitely the best comedy, I thought.
Let's talk about another movie that may be going on my list of best of the year, and that's Ben Affleck's Argo. This is the true story. It stars Ben Affleck, Bryan Cranston, John Goodman, Alan Arkin is in it, Victor Garber, Tate Donovan, good number of people in this.
Ivanek.
Yeah, he's in it again.
He's
And
everywhere. He's taking the world by storm. He's like the next Brit Marling.
yeah, there you go. Well, he's always been in tons. I mean, he was in the new Bourne movie. He was in that.
Yeah, he always seems to play a doctor.
He's in a ton of stuff, or a lawyer. He plays a lawyer a lot, I feel.
Yeah.
Anyway, the synopsis for Argo says, as the Iranian revolution reaches a boiling point, a CIA exfiltration specialist concocts a risky plan to free 6 Americans who have found shelter at the home of the Canadian ambassador. Let me just start off by saying, yes, I love this movie. Holy shit, was it tense, for me, at least.
Yeah.
This is a suspenseful movie, and I found it to be extremely well made, and I loved it. What did you?
I loved it as well. I thought it was a really nice blend, balance of, him trying to get him out of there and that entire tense situation, and giving you some of like the historical aspects of the entire thing, and then some of the more light sort of comedic moments
Hollywood,
with John
yeah.
Goodman and Alan Arkin, trying to get this fake movie made, and just I thought it was perfectly done. Just everything was mixed. There's just a right amount of everything.
Right, yeah. There is a good bit of humor in it, but at the same time, there's this kind of undertone that, yeah, we're doing something that's completely outrageous, but there's 6 people's lives at stake here, and everything in the movie felt very real. Like the stakes felt very high, and I thought that the way that it was shot, the cinematography looked incredible. It looked like this is something. I mean, it looked like they were in the 70s or late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, definitely.
I felt that
Especially
it looked,
the production design.
Yeah, it looked great. And I don't know if did you see at the end credits the side by side shots?
Yes, holy shit. Scoot
Oh,
McNairy looked exactly like the guy he played.
They all looked. I mean, they captured not only the characters looked like their real counterparts, but a lot of the scenes that they shot. I mean, like the Hollywood sign and just all the small things that took place. I mean, you could tell that Ben Affleck really did his homework on this.
Yeah.
Because it looked incredible. It's like a documentary. And it's one of those stories where it's just so ridiculous that you can't believe that this happened. Like, this is something that was real.
They did this. They did this.
Yeah, and it's like...
That just blows my mind. That this was
an
idea. This was thrown out as an idea to get six people out of Iran. And they actually picked it. They actually went with it.
That was the best, worst idea they had.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we need more movies like this because this makes the American government look pretty badass. to build.
And it's hilarious because you're thinking of how ridiculous the idea is. And when they show the meeting where they throw out their first idea and you hear that one, you automatically go, oh shit, the fake movie idea is a lot better.
Yeah.
Fucking bicycles? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they
shipping them bicycles.
Yeah, they showed
cycle to Turkey.
300 miles.
Best of luck.
In winter.
And if they don't know how to ride bicycles, they're going to send someone in to teach them.
Yeah.
Like, where are they going to do that? Just outside the ambassador's house? Like, no one's going to be like, what's going on over here? Why are grown men being taught how to ride a bicycle?
You know what would have been funny if they actually tried that, but it didn't work. Like, they couldn't, like, one or two people just couldn't figure out how to ride the bikes. And they showed that in Argo, like them failing it. Like in that little courtyard in the embassy. Just
having like Iranian people standing around like, they look American. Why are they teaching them how to ride bike?
The Canadian ambassador holding the back of the bike and pushing as Tate Donovan sits on the bike. There you go, go. I'm letting go.
It's just like a montage. The entire montage of them and then like a jumping high five when they all finally learn how to do it. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, from what I read, Ben Affleck really stuck to the story on this. Like, as far as I know, it happened very, very much like the movie.
Yes, I was struck by that. And I haven't read like the article or the book or anything. I don't know anything about this story, but the film gave off the feel that Ben Affleck, like you said, did his homework. He really cared about this story. You could tell with all the attention to detail with everything.
Yeah, and I think that he was on NPR recently being interviewed for this, and he was just like, really what I wanted to do was just make a good movie. And it just came out. He's like, I know that it sounds ridiculous to say something that simple, but when you factor in how many people are involved in a film, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that you just want to make something good.
Yeah.
And I think that this turned out pretty brilliantly, and it certainly solidifies him as being a top-notch director. I mean, he's one of those guys that, to me, it seems like directing is what he should be doing. Like, I never really thought much of him as an actor, and I didn't really think too much of him when he became a director. I was just like, oh, geez. Of course he's going to be a director now. But damn, he makes some good movies. Yeah, I mean, when you look, I pretty much he did Gone Baby Gone in the Town before this, and I loved both of those movies. And the interesting thing was they all kind of had a different feel to them in a way too. Like, he definitely goes for kind of a gritty realism, but man, his movies are just great. Love them.
And another thing that struck me with this movie was the casting. I thought the cast was fantastic, and it's essentially just a ton of, a handful of upstarts. Christopher Denham from Sound of My Voice, Chris Messina, Scoot McNairy, who he looks like he's going to be huge. Because he looks like he gives a great performance in Killing Them Softly. And he was one of the main reasons I didn't like Monsters at all. I know. I thought he was terrible. But he's showing that he's not.
Did you notice the guy from Primer was in this too?
Oh, that's right. That's who that was.
Yeah. He had a beard in this.
Yeah, I was wondering who the hell that guy was. He looked so familiar. That's right. I forgot that he was in this film.
And I've only seen him in Primer, but he didn't do a bad job either. Mm-mm. So great cast, and not only did they were able to put out good performances from the cast, but like we said before, they looked exactly like the real life people that they were portraying.
Yes,
like Victor,
they looked exactly like him.
Oh yeah, everybody did. It was crazy. I also want to mention, we've been doing a segment on the website called Kickstart Sunday, where we promote a Kickstarter project that we like to support and back, and we try to get our viewers to donate some money to these projects. And last week we promoted a movie called Science Fiction Land that's coming out. Well, hopefully will be coming out. And it's actually a documentary about the real Argo. And there's more to it than that, but it's about kind of one of the Hollywood guys that was working on the fake movie.
Yeah, which, again, that was crazy too. That it was the character that John Goodman plays. Mm-hmm. To find out that it was, a makeup guy for the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah.
And apparently he's done this before, Ben Affleck at one point, says that, I've used him like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. He said he did contract work and stuff. And apparently, I don't know what the real story is, but it seemed like Alan Arkin's character knew what was going on too, because he didn't seem surprised when they first met with him either. Yeah.
Which Alan Arkin's character was great.
Oh, I love
Alan Arkin.
Him and John Goodman, every scene with them I was just happy.
Another thing which I just realized, and I thought I knew the one Iranian actor. It's Rafi Pitts, who actually, he's a actor-director. He's the guy that directed the Iranian The Hunter, the one I want to see.
Right, yeah. All right, well, any final thoughts on Argo?
Great movie weekend.
Oh, yeah.
This was fantastic.
Unlike Seven Psychopaths, I think that we are going to see some Oscar noms coming Argo's way.
Yeah, this is definitely more up the Academy's alley. I don't think they'll have a problem giving out nominations for this film.
Yeah, if you've seen it kind of had a Munich vibe to it. If you've seen Steven Spielberg's Munich, definitely had that kind of same feel. Although I actually did like this more than Munich. I thought that this was more concise, just had a brisker pace to it, and way more suspenseful. That whole final scene, the climax of this film, I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's just like one thing after the other, and you're just like, oh my god, when is this gonna end? It's nuts. But I loved it. All right, out of 10, what are you giving Argo?
I would probably give this a 8.5. Trying to think, I can't pinpoint it. Give it 8.5.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Ooh, going 9.
I'm going 9 on Argo. I thought it was.
Did Chad review this yet? Do we have a Chad review? What did Chad give it?
I sent him a text and I said, "Hey, what's going on with Argo? I sent you to see it on Friday," and he's like, I'll have it up on Sunday." So we should have it up today as of recording. So I don't know though. He liked it, I know that, because he texted me back and said it was amazing. All right, let's go over our predictions from last week. These are Rotten Tomatoes scores. We said Sinister. You said 56. I said 42. Actual 63 on Sinister. So this looks like it's going to be pretty good. I want to check that out. Hopefully we'll have the review up soon for that. Then we said Argo. You said 90. I said 92. Actual 94 on Argo.
Some bitch.
94.
Some bitch.
7 Psychopaths. You said 82. I said 72. Actual 83.
Ooh, almost got that one.
Yeah. And finally, we have Here Comes the Boom. You said 30.
Yes.
I said 41. Actual 44.
That's what I'm talking. That's, again, what I said. Great movie weekend. Kidding
Yeah.
me? Here Comes the Boom. 7 Psychopaths and Argo.
Oh,
like all
Also,
essentially in the same pantheon.
that came out this week. We didn't predict it. Cloud Atlas Part 2. Atlas Shrugged Part 2. 0%.
Yes. Good.
We didn't even bother with that one.
No, because it's not a real movie.
No, I don't think it is a real movie. Next week we have Holy Motors. This, I'm sure, is going to get a limited release, although I'm praying that it'll come out where I'm at. What do you think on Holy Motors?
Oh, I think this is going to be an in-betweener. Say something like 64.
I'm going to say 69 on that one. Paranormal Activity 4. Now, if we did this last year for Paranormal Activity 3, I probably would have said something like 20. And I would have been way off because the third one ended up getting like, I don't know what it got, but it was like probably an 80 something. So for Paranormal Activity 4, I'm going to say 62.
62. I'm going to go 67.
And then we have Alex Cross, or as I like to call it, Tyler Perry's Alex Cross.
Tyler Perry in Tyler Perry's Alex Cross.
What do you think on this
That's
one?
Tyler Perry. It'd be great if they like the first line, they call him Alex Cross, and he's like, no, call me Tyler Perry. And then the rest of the movie, they just call him Tyler Perry instead.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That'd be great. That's what I want. He actually doesn't look too bad in this, which is surprising, but the movie does look terrible. I'm going to say like a 44.
Yeah, here's the thing about Tyler Perry. I don't think he is necessarily a bad actor. He was actually in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movie, and he wasn't bad in that. I mean, he didn't have a big part, but he had some lines, and he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So I think that he can act. It's just those Medea movies are just so horrible. But I don't think Alex Cross looks good either.
No.
And if I remember correctly, the other Alex Cross movies, like it was Along Came a Spider, and what was the other one? Kiss the Girls? Was that the other one? It was one of those. But Morgan Freeman used to be the character of Alex Cross.
Yeah.
And this one looks like it's much more action oriented. And I don't think it looks very good either, so I'm going to say 40. All right, and then finally we have The Sessions. This is with Helen Hunt and why is his name escaping me right now? We're big fans of him. The Sessions.
The Sessions. Oh yeah, this is
It's Helen Hunt and
John Holmes.
yes. Big
John
fan of
Hawkes
it.
and William H. Macy.
Yeah.
John Hawkes is definitely getting an Oscar nom for this movie.
I've been hearing really great things, so
He's probably going to win the Oscar, I would imagine. This is straight up, again, right down the Academy's alley.
I'm going to say 82 on this one.
I'm going to go 88.
88. Okay. I heard Helen Hunt goes full frontal in it, so
Wow.
so
Ryan's going to be rushing out to see that one.
the Sessions. I'm slightly interested in it. I don't usually like movies about disabled people though.
Yeah.
They always bring me down. Like Diving Bell and the Butterfly, I felt was like the most depressing movie I've ever seen. All right, let's talk about some DVD and Blu Ray releases. This is for October 16th, 2012. First up, we have Airborne, which is a crappy horror movie. I do not recommend this one, so go ahead and skip it.
So do you recommend that one?
Nope. Then we have Chernobyl Diaries. This is another crappy horror movie. Skip it, please. Then we have, we're just plugging right along here. Then we have That's My Boy. This is a shitty Adam Sandler movie. Please skip that one. And then we have Moonrise Kingdom, the Wes Anderson movie. This should not be skipped. This should be purchased.
This should be watched. It should be
Yes.
purchased and watched.
Well, the only
Daily.
I don't know. I'm not purchasing it because I have a strong feeling that it's going to end up on Criterion. And
You're waiting for Sapphire series.
and I don't want to get it on Blu-ray and then have the Criterion come out in a month.
Sapphire series.
Or
Telling
the
you.
Sapphire series, yeah.
It's going to be chock full of Sapphire series exclusives, you know.
Yeah. So
Essentially what they're known for.
I might recommend holding off on purchasing it, but definitely rent it if you haven't seen it yet, because it's definitely one of my favorite movies of the year.
Easily.
And then we have Turn Me On, Damn It. This is, I can't even remember what the Norwegian, I think. I saw
Sounds
this movie.
right.
I saw it. I
They're
can't remember.
Swedish.
It's either Swedish and...
Say Scandinavian, because then that covers all your bases.
Yeah, there you go. This was actually a pretty good movie. It's sort of a teenage sex comedy about a girl. It's a foreign film, so that probably alienates a large portion of the viewing audience. And then it's about a girl and having girl problems, so that alienates probably another large portion of the audience. So not a lot of people, I think, will like this, but I found it to be comical and whimsical. And the only other one I have here is The Forgiveness of Blood on Criterion. Now, have you seen this movie?
I have not. I'm slightly interested in this film.
Yeah, I haven't. I've seen this like available for a while, and I always kind of think about watching it, but then I just never do. Is this Iranian?
No, this is an American director, Joshua Marston, and his Oscar-nominated movie, Maria Full of Grace, was about, a Colombian woman, and now this one is set in Albania. So he's like an American director, but works in other countries.
Okay, interesting. Either way, this looks like it could be pretty good, so I might want to give that a poke.
Yeah, check it out. I'm gonna try to see this one.
Do you have any other DVDs?
Madagascar 3.
Ugh. How could I forget Madagascar 3? Europe's most
Come on, man.
wanted.
I played a can.
Yes, it
God.
Yes, it did. Yes,
Get
it
your
did.
shit together, Adam. This is critically acclaimed Madagascar 3.
Mm-hmm.
In
know,
competition.
Madagascar 3, I'd say skip that one.
Yeah, unless you have kids. Then I can understand.
No, I mean, I'm just thinking about if I had kids, and I would still skip it.
You have your kids watch The Forgiveness of Blood instead.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
My kids are gonna watch.
Trying to get them cultured.
No, I'm getting the freaking Battle Royale collection.
I have another one. 2016 Obama's America comes out.
Man, that was a quick turnaround.
You're damn right it was.
They wanted to
jump on top of that.
They wanted to get that out before the election.
Exactly. Skip that, please.
Oh, it's that movie is just complete garbage. It's lies.
Half truths and
Yeah, again, I hate it when they try to pass those off as being documentaries.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
All right, well, I think that wraps things up.
Who does it?
For all the latest film news and reviews, visit us at filmpulse.net. And we want to hear your feedback. Send us an email at feedback@filmpulse.net. Call our voicemail line at 850-391-6071. Also, please take a minute to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that very much. And also, our Haneke Roundtable is now up. So if you subscribe to the feed, you should already have it.
Oh,
But
what are you doing, Adam?
yeah, I released it. We said it was going to be a lost episode, but I went ahead and released it. So give that a listen if you're interested in hearing our thoughts on the work of Michael Haneke. And if you're not, go fuck yourself.
Argo, fuck yourself.
Or go fuck yourself, yeah. Filmpulse.net. My name is Adam.
And I'm Kevin.
And we will see you on Wednesday for Ryan Watches a Movie. And we have him watch Paranormal Incident.
Yes.
Man, I had a Jimmy John's sub for lunch. Just regular tuna. And it just completely fucking wrecked me. God almighty. All right.